Hey you guys, it's Peter and welcome to my channel. Peter likes books. And I'm getting ready to go into Goodwill in just a second and purchase some books. I haven't been to Goodwill. I mean, it has been months, you guys. It has been probably, gosh, I don't know, maybe last fall. I bet it's probably even been a year because I hadn't been in quite some time before COVID started, and I know I haven't been since, and that was March, so I don't think I went January or February. So I bet it was last fall or winter was the last time that I went to Goodwill. And when I first started my BookTube channel, I used to go to Goodwill and do book hauls because the Goodwill has really cheap books, and it's a great place to find books that are inexpensive or, you know, not as expensive. And when I was in high school, my friends and I would go to all kinds of thrift stores, and we would always buy like the craziest book, you know, like something that's like really, really different that you would never be able to find anywhere else. And I still kind of remember some of those books. There was one book that my friend bought, and it was called Groupie, and it was about this woman. It was kind of like Pamela DeBar's I'm With the Band, but it was like a fictional account of this woman who was a groupie of this band, and it was like so scandalous, and we like passed it around to everybody and read it. Oh my god. So anyway, but the reason that I'm here today is because I want to purchase some books that my grandma used to read. So if you watch my other channels, you probably heard me talk about my grandma. I mean, obviously I had two grandmas, but I'm talking about my mom's mom. And my mom's mom was the grandma that I had that I found out later went to prison. So it's kind of a joke on one of my channels. But to me and my cousin Caroline, who are the only ones left from that side, it is something that's very serious to us because, you know, I think sometimes in life you learn to kind of laugh at the things you don't understand, you know what I mean? And, but to my cousin Caroline and I, it's very serious because we want to know the background story of it. My mom never said anything about it to me, and in fact, I found that she had kind of covered up a lot of things to cover up the story that my grandma had gone to prison, because if she had said to me where she was at certain times, then it would have made me question, well, why was she there, and things like that, if that makes sense. So for example, she and my aunt went to South Beach in Miami for a whole summer, and my mom told me that she was on the East Coast. I still don't know if she ever went to the East Coast for that summer, but I found out that she was in Florida. So like, I would have questioned those kinds of things, if that makes sense. My cousin and I really, really want to find out a lot about our grandma and the history of it. When my mom passed away, I was having a conversation with my dad, and I said, were there any kind of secrets that mom kept from me that I didn't know? And he was like, no, not really. He was like, well, maybe one. He said, your grandma actually went to prison for embezzlement. And he said your mom and your aunt didn't want you guys to know because they thought that you and Caroline would think differently of your grandma, because we like adored our grandma. And it doesn't make me think any differently of my grandma. It really doesn't, but it really does make a lot of things with the family kind of make sense. Especially like how protective of my mom my aunt was, because my mom was like the younger of the two, and that she always felt like she needed to watch over her and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I then went on to have a conversation with my aunt and ask her questions about it. She told me some things, but a lot of things she didn't want to talk about. And she talked a lot about my mom and my aunt having been like in foster care system and things like that. We ended up finding out after my aunt passed away from my cousin Caroline's cousin on the other side, that our grandma had been to prison not once but twice, actually. I have been trying to get information from the Department of Corrections in Indiana, and we're really having a difficult time doing that. So anyway, Caroline and I are trying to kind of research that. We'd eventually like to turn it into some kind of maybe like documentary or something like that, because we're very, you know, interested in finding out our family's history. And we have a feeling that this is just where it begins. But for Caroline and I, there are a lot of memories of our grandma that we have together, and there are a lot of things I remember, there are a lot of things that she remembers, there's a lot of things that we both remember, there's a lot of things that I remember that she doesn't remember, there's a lot of things that I remember that she doesn't remember. But one of the things that I really remember is spending weekends with my grandma. She had this apartment, and I remember going to the apartment a lot. At one point in our lives, she had a house that had like this little backyard, and it was probably about 10 minutes from where I live now, which is crazy. I have the address, and I haven't driven by there yet. Isn't that so weird? I keep on saying to Caroline, we should go look at all these places, because, you know, from the backs of pictures, I have, like, my mom wrote, like, the address of where these places were. So I have the addresses of these different places, and I'm like, Caroline, we should go and we should look at these different houses and stuff in the apartment where our grandma used to live. Because it used to be called the Knob in the Woods, but it's not called that anymore. I have no idea what it's called. So anyway, but I remember spending weekends at my grandma's apartment, and we would watch Lawrence Welk, and I would be there like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday if my parents went out of town. This is when I was real young, and then later when my mom was like gone out of town with friends or whatever, like I would, or she was in school a lot too because she was getting her master's degree, so I was with my grandma a lot, and I can remember watching Lawrence Welk, watching my grandma's stories with her through the week, and she loved Price is Right, and she knew like every single price of everything. I'd be like, Grandma, how do you know the price of all these things? And she'd be like, Peter, I go to the grocery store every single day. My grandma loved to drink coffee, drink little Cokes in the bottles, those little bottles, and then she would like smoke one Salem after another. She was a heavy, heavy smoker, and she had this ashtray next to the couch. It was like on this glass thing, and I can remember my cousin Caroline and I, and my grandma had 2 twin beds in her bedroom, and they had these Wonder Kale sheets on, and I still have a set of the sheets because there's like these pink little flowers all over them, and they're so smooth. They're almost kind of like silky smooth because they're so worn out. And I remember when I was growing up, I was like, I want sheets just like Grandma had. And my mom goes, Wonder Kale? She was like, those are so cheap. Those were like some of the cheapest sheets out there. But to me, they were like so soft, and they reminded me of my grandma. So my grandma would sleep in one bed, and my cousin Caroline and I would sleep in another bed. This is like when we were like probably like 5 and 8 or something like that, And I can remember my grandma would just snore so loud, and my cousin Caroline would say, she'd say, why does Grandma snore so loud? I'd be like, I don't know, Caroline. And we could hear the cars on the street, and I still have all these memories. But in that bedroom, right before you went to the bathroom, there was this like metal bookshelf thing of my grandma's, and she'd stack all these books up there. They were all like the white covered with the circle thing in the middle, Harlequins. And I can remember her reading these, and she'd always have them like, I don't have a book in the car, but she'd have it, like where you open the book like this. Okay, she'd have the, on the side of the couch. She always had them, and I'd be like, Grandma, can I read one of your books? Because I love to read, And she'd be like, oh, those aren't for Peter. Peter, those aren't for you. Those are Grandma's books. And I always wanted to read one of my grandma's books, And everybody in my life loved to read. My aunt loved to read. My uncle loved to read. My mom loved to read. My dad, all my mom and dad's friends. My cousin Caroline is actually the only person growing up that didn't really love to read. And as she got older, like now she loves to read, and she recommends so many books to me, and we read a lot of the same books. It's interesting. So I thought, this is very long-winded at 7 minutes and 38 seconds, I thought I would go and buy some of these Harlequin novels, and then I would read them because I want to know what kind of books my grandma liked, And it was funny because I was having this, I was just like walking around the house today, like cleaning stuff up before I left, and I was thinking to myself, I bet my grandma read these, like, I mean, honestly, I mean this, like, I bet my grandma read these when she was in prison, and that's part of, like, what helped her get through things, because she would just, like, read books like that. I mean, she always had a new one of these in her hand. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to find any when I go in here today. I will tell you this, I'm not spending a lot of money on these, because I have a feeling I'm just not going to love them. But I have $1 bill right here, and then I have a $5 bill. Oh, where did I put it? Oh, here it is. And then I have a $5 bill. So I'm going to take $6 with me. Most of their books in there are between $1 and $2. So I'm going to see what I can find, and I'm going to buy a couple books, and then I will be back and I'll show you what I bought. Okay? So I'll be back in just a little bit. Okay, I'm back. So my books came to $3, so I still have $3 left. And there you go, $3. Make you holla. Put that in my glove compartment for my meetings. And I bought 2 books, so they were $1.50 each. I think they were 99 cents each, but with like tax and stuff. So anyway, all right. Now, this is very interesting, I have to tell you. They did not have as many Harlequin novels as I thought they would. I thought they would have tons and tons and tons, but they didn't. They honestly only had like 6 or 7. I think actually they had like 6. And so I kind of started reading the backs of them. I didn't read all of the backs because I wanted to read them on camera so you guys could get my full reaction to what we're about to read. And of course, I'm going to read these and then come back and let you guys know what I think. But I wanted to read these. Oh, that's what I was going to say. But anyway, so I started reading them and I'd be like, okay, no. Yes, maybe. And that's how I kind of picked what I was going to read. And then I had like 3 maybes, and I picked these 2 from that. Now, they, of course, had tons and tons of other romance novels, but they only had these that were in, oh my lord, what is inspirational romantic suspense? Does that mean Jesus books? I think, no, it's Harlequin. These are both Harlequin because I wanted to make sure that I bought Harlequin. So at the top of the Harlequin, they have these, so they don't look like how they did with the back in the day. Do you remember when the guys like, and they're all like, oh, like that? Okay. But anyway, they say at the top of them, like intrigue, or this one says suspense at the top of it, right? So, they're different than how they used to be. Maybe they were like that back in the day. I don't know. But now they have like the different categories. So, I got one intrigue and one suspense because I love to read thrillers and things like that. So, first let's read Identity Withheld by Sandra Orchard. And they're all larger print. Those were the only ones they had. Love-inspired suspense, riveting inspirational romance, witness in hiding. After exposing an illegal adoption ring, newly named Kara Grant is promised safety and witness protection. Of course, why wouldn't she? But I do love good witness protection books, so I'm excited about that. But someone has found her and wants her dead. If this is like, every witness protection book is just exactly like this. If only she could trust a handsome firefighter who catches her fleeing from a suspicious fire. Jake, of course his name is Jake. Steele. Now he sounds like, you know, a certain kind of actor. You know what I mean? Jake Steele, or dancer, seems to think she's guilty of burning her own home. But how can she tell him who she really is and what she's been through without bringing danger to the widowed single father's door? I feel like I saw this in a movie. I feel like I saw this in a Lifetime movie or something. You know what I mean? Yet with the criminals quickly closing in, taking such a risk might be her only chance at survival. Because the price she'll pay for her silence could be her life. So let's see what it... Like, it is truly big print, too. Large print. Here is page 1. Carol, listen to me. Also available this month, it says. So you must be able to get your holiday reunion, hazardous homecoming, twin threat Christmas. This must have been December's month. Okay. Carol, listen to me. Jake's footfalls pounded behind her. She ran faster. Kara, he called. If you didn't set the fire, you have no reason to run, Jake called. The police will protect you from whoever you're afraid of. Now, listen. Did y'all not see that movie, The Invisible Man? I just recently saw that movie. It was so good. Did you not see that one with Julia Roberts sleeping with the enemy? They always think nobody's after him, but somebody's really always after him. Okay. She tripped over the curb as she chanced a glance over her shoulder. Oh, my knee. She hurt her knee and she got a run in her pantyhose. People still wear pantyhose in these books, but they don't in real life, but in these books they still wear pantyhose. It didn't say that, I just added it. Jake burst from between the houses just as she recovered her balance. His gaze slammed into hers. The dim light couldn't mask the concern she saw flickering in his eyes. I can help you, Kara. I'm not going to be able to get through these books. Okay, the sound of a siren broke his spell. He called the police. She gulped in a lungful of air. If you really want to help me, Jake, forget you ever saw me. She turned on her heel and ran. Kara! True story though. I did, one of my good Judies, she used to date this girl named Kara. I should send this book to her. Blinding headlights blipped on and she froze. Her heart jammed in her throat as the light sped towards her. I'm going to die. I guess she thought to herself. It doesn't say that, but hurled into the hedges on the other side of the road. Her body exploded in agony. Then everything went black. Oh my Lord, I can't wait to read the further. This is real interesting. So you go right into this and then it's Psalms. If I rise in the wings of the dawn, if I settle on the far side of the sea, even there your hand will guide me. Okay, so it's, I guess it's an inspirational book. All right, okay, fine, I can get down with that. All right, so then the second one I got is Harlequin Intrigue, Boneyard Ridge. I don't know who she's boning, but anyway, okay. The Gates. I guess it's a series, The Gates. This is by Paula Graves. Does it say stuff about the authors in the back here, or are they all just the same person, just with different names? I think it's that, don't you? Okay. Intrigue. Is this another one of them religious books? I wanted them to be doing it and things like that, okay? I'm just saying, like, if my grandma, I know my grandma listened, okay? Like I said, she wasn't reading no religious doing it books. She just wasn't. Oh, my Lord. Okay, I know she wasn't, though. Anyway, okay. Harlequin Intrigue, Boneyard Ridge, The Gates by Paula Graves, larger print. Okay. Completing his latest assignment could impact investigator Hunter Bragg's future, but only if he can keep Susanna Marsh alive. Oh, I like that name. All Hunter Bragg, I mean, all of these names, you know. All Hunter Bragg wanted in Purgatory, Tennessee, was a little peace of mind, a private investigator plagued, my grandma, she just must have eaten these books up. I bet she just loved every bit of them. A private investigator plagued by it, she's living in her own escape Lifetime movie novel, just sitting up in the sad ass apartment, drinking Coke, smoking Salem's, reading these books, thinking she was escaping. I mean, that's why we all like to read, isn't it? Okay. Excuse me. All Hunter Bragg wanted in Purgatory, Tennessee was a little peace of mind. A private investigator plagued by his own guilt. He never imagined his next job would resurrect old demons. You know it. Targeted by an anarchist militia group. In some small town in Tennessee. Events planner, Susanna Marsh, is his next mission. Keep her close, keep her alive. But why in this small town, okay? But Susanna has a secret. Of course she does. My mom had secrets. Everybody had secrets. Grandma had secrets. My Lord, this world's just full of secrets. Now Susanna Marsh has got them too. I don't know if I can keep up. A secret that will reveal the true motive of her potential assailants. For Hunter, being Susanna's protector soon becomes more than just a job. And in order to succeed, there can be no half measures. Okay, that sentence is, no, that shouldn't be like how, that's grammatically incorrect. Because it's just, and in order to succeed, there can be no half measures. With undeniable attraction simmering between them. Why am I doing this? Why am I clutching my pearls? With undeniable attraction simmering between them, he's determined not to let the promise of a better future fall into the hands of ruthless predators. Okay, I'll be reading this one first. I'm not rolling so down with the Jesus doing it, but I mean, like, if I had known that, I probably wouldn't have bought it, y'all. I probably wouldn't. But I'll give it a chance. I will, okay? I mean, love can be found in the church, too. I do. I have a lot of good Judies that they met their husbands and wives in church, you know what I mean? So anyway, all right, well, I'm going to come back after I read these books of Grandma's. I shouldn't have tossed that book in the back because, you know, books are our friends and all that. But anyway, all right, I will let you guys know what I think of these books when I come back after I've read them. And I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.